Buckle up. Thank you for listening to Musicians and Beyond with John Sarabian and Mark Lawhorn. And we bring you all the backstage info on the life, lyrics, and long journeys of the music industry. Today's episode number 10, double digits, is in honor of Police Chief David Scott, who's battling multiple types of cancer. Go to his Instagram page at Team14Strong and get some swag and help support Chief Scott on his road to recovery. And that also helps the Jimmy Fund and the America Cancer Society. Today, we have an incredible woman that you have seen on the fields of the Red Sox, the Patriots, the courts of the Celtics, the ice of the Bruins, tracks of horse racing and NASCAR.
That's right.
Right? See?
Such a big fan, John.
Right? I am. I'm your biggest fan, Vanessa. So you met a wonderful guy, Adam.
I met the love of... Actually, our first date was at Exchange Street Bistro, just right down the street.
Wow, how cute.
Yes, I did. I met the love of my life.
Yeah, he's a good man and a lucky man.
He's a lucky man, and I'm a very lucky lady. But you know where we kicked off our honeymoon, John?
Where was that?
Nashville.
Vanessa, you have been in this music industry for quite a long time.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, so something I read was at 12 years old, you did more than a lot of aspiring musicians could reach. You sang Fenway Park.
I did.
At the Red Sox game at the age of 12. That's incredible.
That's right. And at the time, remember, this is the old Fenway, so I think the amount of fans was maybe even 15,000 less than now. But yes, I did. That was my first big performance.
That is really cool. How do you get involved with something like that at that age?
Yeah, I think my mother sent in some kind of a recording, and a lot of kids get to do that, but I was one of them, and it was really, really cool. They actually called me back 3 times that same year. So I actually sang at Fenway 3 times when I was 12, and then not again till I was probably 35.
Wow. So you must have been pretty good.
So you've actually been on the field a couple of times doing the national anthem, and you have another gig there on occasion.
Yes, a few summers back, yes, I was actually DJing the fan zone for the kids. Yeah. That was really fun on Van Ness Street. That was so appropriate.
What do you mean for the kids? I was there listening.
That's right. I think I did see you.
Of course you were, Mark.
Yeah, there's an agency that sometimes gets to hook up some local DJs and DJ for fun events, whether it's a corporate event up at the private clubs, at the EMC club, and then down on the field. It's really, really good time.
Great.
For the kids, you know.
That is fun. You do everything. You're a singer, a songwriter, an actress, a DJ, now a wife.
I guess I am. I don't see myself wearing all those hats, but you know, when someone else tells you that,
you got a lot of stuff going on.
I guess I do, John. Thank you. I have written a few songs. I definitely have. My Mother's Day song to my mom. That was probably wrote it like 10 years ago, but that was probably the most sentimental one. And that is talking about how you get to a certain point in life where you realize your parents are kind of turning into your children, and you become the sole caretaker, and you start acting like them and worrying as they do, and circle of life. So, yeah.
That is cool. We'll have to get an MP3 of that, and I'll dub that right in here.
I think I need to update that one, but sure, we can play a snippet.
Yeah.
It's a great song, and it's a great tribute to your mother and your relationship.
I appreciate that. You know, it's I want to give a shout out to one of my favorite guitar gurus, Mr. Joe Filoni, who when I went and sang the melody of the song to him, he kind of built the track around my voice. So that was really helpful and inspiring.
Well, we've been talking to Joe, and Joe was going to be a guest on the show. We were hoping to get him in here and have a little fun with you too today.
I know, and he teaches during the day, guitar lessons over at Carlino Guitars in Medford, so he couldn't get out. But we have our first gig of the summer, and that starts. Can I talk about that for a second?
Yes, let's do that.
So, yeah. Speaking of, let's see, Richie Razzo owns Razzo's Grill, and on Thursday nights, starting this coming Thursday, June 30th, Joe and I have our little band with Everett Pendleton, along with Bam the drummer, and we're going to play starting, this coming Thursday, every Thursday night from 7:30 to about 9:45. There's a hard cutoff at Razzo's Grill in Medford, outside under the tent.
Awesome.
I've been out there. I've seen you in the parking lot there as well. So I as much as John's the biggest fan, I follow you around and I run into you at the oddest places. I think actually
In Nashville.
In Nashville, John and I ran into you at the Garden one day, just walking around.
Bike week.
Bike week. That's something.
You are everywhere.
I'm like,
Are you
Lint.
sure there's only one of you?
My mother calls me Lint. I'm just everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. That's perfect.
All right. Now here's a question. We kind of glossed over it and we actually skipped ahead.
Yeah.
So just walking in here to the studio, I ran into two friends of mine, Billy and Jennifer Spatafora. They're leaving tomorrow morning for a trip to Nashville.
Yes.
So tell me, your trip to Nashville.
Absolutely. So I like to say I've experienced every kind of a Nashville vacation, from a daddy-daughter trip, just me and my dad had gone down. I've done bachelorette parties there. I turned 25 there, sung at Tootsie's. I turned 35 there, sung at Tootsie's. So my husband and I decided that the honeymoon kicked off on his birthday. In May, so we said let's go see Kid Rock, which was his favorite artist. So we saw Kid Rock in Nashville downtown on my husband's birthday. Went to Nashville for 2 nights, and then set sail to Bahamas, and we did a Sandals property for 7 nights. It was amazing.
We did the same one down there.
Oh, cool!
Yeah.
Royal Bohemian.
Yep, a long time
Awesome.
ago, but that's where we were.
They do a great job. Yeah, fantastic.
Fun.
So fun.
That is.
Well,
fun.
I met my match, so he's easy.
And he likes to have a good time too.
He's front row, even when the world was shutting down and I still had a few gigs kind of scattered about. He was there. He was there at the bar having dinner and just cheering me on. There's like 5 people left in the restaurant because everybody was in full-blown panic mode from COVID. He's always
True.
there.
Okay, back up.
Yes.
Number 1 bar, fun time in Nashville.
Oh, that's a tough one. My favorite bar in Nashville, I mean, Tootsie's is a staple.
Mm-hmm.
But that roof deck place, is it Jason Aldean's now? Is that
Yes.
where we were?
Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Although, hold on, Kid Rock actually came to his bar
Yes.
after we saw him in concert. So, top 3. There you
There you go. And favorite restaurant.
go. Ooh, I'm gonna say Jeff Ruby's.
All right.
Jeff Ruby's, because this was really neat. They have their live bands on stage while you're having dinner, and one of these bands that played was the night after Adam's birthday. It was 6 doctors. They were all, it's like in their mid-60s, and the name of their band was called The On-Calls.
I love it.
They were fantastic.
That's awesome. Okay, so if you're in Nashville or heading down there, make sure you follow V's Trail. You'll find it all over Nashville.
Peace Trail. I like that, actually.
Yeah, so I want to know, you are known everywhere as Vanessa Salvucci.
Yeah, I guess
Now
I
you
am.
have this new name.
That's right. I
Let's-
took my husband's name. I'm
Yeah.
traditional.
Okay, what is going to happen here when people are looking for Vanessa Salvucci? How the hell are they going to find you?
Before we started, John, you had called me V. That might just be it. I might reinvent myself. I might be V. Or V's Trail would be a great name for the band, because we don't even have a band name yet.
Okay, so if people want to find out about where you're playing and all that, how do they do that? Do you have like an Instagram page or anything?
Yeah, I just solely use Facebook and Instagram. I've kind of strayed away from having the website because it was honestly like a full-time job, and I was busting Mark all the time. I need you all the time to update it. Honestly, Facebook and Instagram might be just the best way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, is it Vanessa Salvucci or Vanessa Sagisi?
It's still Vanessa Salvucci, that the username, but Sagisi was just added to that.
Adam is your second biggest fan. Your first biggest fan is your dad.
My parents.
They are at every event that you do.
They are.
So supportive.
I tell them I'm the reason why they're still married. I keep them out every weekend falling in love again, or they'd kill each other.
Yeah, they're awesome. And,
43 years of marriage.
and it's funny that we have a connection that we found out not too long ago that your mom used to work with my dad.
That's right.
Isn't
Oh,
it?
wow.
That's
Did not know
bizarre.
that.
Talk about a small world.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
The essence of New England. No one leaves.
Right. You were inspired by your brother.
Very much so.
Yeah, he was
Yes.
one of those 80s, 90s boy band
That's right.
like,
He took-
idols.
That's
Like,
right.
The girls used to chase him around town.
They used to come to the front door and ring the doorbell from all the way from Chicago. Yeah, my brother, absolutely. I want to give him a shout out, Mr. Jackie Salvucci. Starting at about 18, 19, he just saw an opportunity with Carson Daly. This had to be like 99.
Wow.
And TRL, they had announced that Lou Pearlman, that boy band, phenomenon, who's no longer with us, but he was responsible for putting together a lot of the boy bands at that age. And so my brother went for the auditions, and he had some success being on national TV, and Rosie O'Donnell had picked him up, and he had some success. He got to open for, Britney Spears, and I watched my brother open for Britney in like the peak of her career, and in bands like VI3 and in B Factor, and like anything else, you take what you can get and you enjoy it for what it is, but you can't take it too seriously. Like any industry, it's a tough industry.
Right. Oh, I'm sure.
Yes.
I'm sure. So was he one of your biggest inspirations, your brother?
He positively was, because he was the one that was always telling me that I was either, too boring on stage or I needed to move more or step up my game, and he was always in my corner, always kind of coaching me through all of it. Yeah.
Always good to have someone honest.
Yeah. What key should I sing this in? And am I okay here? And he's incredible. He really is. And he was out in California for a long time while I was in Florida. I was at Disney. He was in Hollywood. And we still just always met up, kept in touch. He's one of my best buds.
That's
He was
awesome.
my best man in my wedding.
No one better than Jackie.
No.
So let's hear about this Disney thing that you're talking about.
Yes. So after college, I graduated from BU and then found out about this Disney internship. Actually, my mom was the one who kind of went digging for it and said, listen, when you graduate, if you're not ready to jump into boring corporate America, why don't you go and work for Disney, get your corporate experience while still having the chances to audition and be part of the theatrical productions down there. So I did. I auditioned all the time for Disney. I never had any luck. I was the runner-up queen. Always got the callbacks, never got the contract. But kind of a sad story, which contributes to my adversity and why I'm so busy now. But I ended up getting hit with a little thyroid cancer, a big thyroid cancer. I was 23. I was in the midst of auditioning for the Little Mermaid role and got down to the wire, and they said, sweetheart, you've got some protrusion on your throat. I didn't even know what it was. I never even noticed it. So thank you to the director of the show, Mr. Mark Goff, is the reason why he even detected that. So I had to come home and I had to have surgery, and I've got this badass scar now across my throat, and I was told I'd probably never sing again.
It makes it more real.
Yeah.
Every note that comes out of your mouth
Thank you.
is more meaningful because of what the curveball that you were thrown.
I agree, and so when I first came back and after treatments and therapy, like anything else, as a singer, it's a muscle. Your voice is a muscle, and you need to train it and keep it up to par. And I had to go to vocal therapy, and I started singing in church just because I could be up in the balcony, not necessarily performing in front of an audience. People could just listen, and I was conditioning my voice ever so slowly, and it worked. And of course, one of the things that hit me in the gut was one of my first performances in a church. The priest said, "Man, you should sing for Disney."
Let this put it in perspective for you.
That's right. That's right.
To keep going, to persevere through it all, kudos to you and to your parents and your brother for helping you get through that and keep moving on. So
that's right.
There's no one more positive than you. You come in here, you have a big smile, you got your beautiful little dog with you, little Alfie.
Alfie can sing too. She may have to do a little song before I leave.
I would love to hear that. I would love to hear Alfie sing. Hey, buddy.
Is she bothering anybody?
No, not at all.
No, she's great.
Fabulous.
She is great.
I take her everywhere. So I work for Service Master during the day as the Boston commercial sales rep, and so I have to hit these territories that are these beach towns like Marblehead and Swampscott, and all of these women have their dogs in their office hanging out under their desk, and I'm saying, geez, why do I have Alfie at home? So I slapped on a Service Master T-shirt with her, and she's become my little mascot.
That's awesome. And so, Service Master out of where?
Out of Stoneham,
Excellent.
Wilmington, and Rochester, New Hampshire. Property's running amok. We clean up your yuck.
I love it.
Oh, Dan Noyes is going to be happy about that one.
Vinyl Groove.
Vinyl Groove. Let's not forget that. That's
Absolutely. I sing. I've been popping in and out with Mr. Stephen Virgilio. Put Vinyl Groove together. It's all dance music from the '60s, '70s, and even '80s. We play all over the place, but we have a couple of upcoming things, like we're opening up for the Temptations Friday night, July 8th,
Very
outside at the Kowloon. Super fun. And then we also have a bunch of the Fisherman's Feasts and the Italian festivals coming up and things like that. They also are playing at the NASWA a couple times this summer, as am I. So this is your territory, John.
This is my neck of the woods, correct.
So the last time I saw John up at Bike Week, a bunch of us ended up on John's boat with his family on Lake Winnipesaukee.
Yes.
Thank you. That was a blast.
It was a great time.
No surprise there.
Always fun.
and I'll be at the Blue Bistro Supper Club at the NASWA July 16th.
You've done a lot of your musical, talents and so forth. And
Thank you, John. I have. Yes, I've donated a lot of my time and my voice or national anthems, and I know this particular episode is dedicated to a police chief. Do you mention what town he's from?
he's from Pepperell, Massachusetts.
Oh, there you go. Cool. Okay. So yeah, anything from the Boston Police Foundation to obviously all the sports teams of New England, but the American Cancer Society in particular, the Shriners, the Professional Firefighters of Massachusetts. I could go on and on. A ton of charities.
Yeah, Make-A-Wish.
Make-A-Wish, Challenger Day. It's been great. It's
Awesome.
been great. Yeah. I love
Awesome.
it.
You are one of the models or the faces of Lakes Region Bracelet,
He
which
means
is
hand model, by the way.
which is a company that has a line of sterling silver jewelry, and they give back partial proceeds of all their sales to the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
And they're beautiful pieces, if I may say. And I like to wear them when I do sing the national anthems for some of the professional sports teams because, John, you've done a lot for me, so that's easily my way of throwing it back.
It's the least we can do. You're the best.
So
Yes.
you've talked about being down at Disney. You were working there, not performing as much as you wanted to. What would be the highlight of your performances so far?
Oh, my God. I'm going to say easily singing for the Patriots, and I'll tell you why. So I'm kind of a late bloomer, if you haven't figured this out yet, and which I love. I love being a late bloomer because you do appreciate things more when you experience them after a lot of trials and tribulations. So when I was about, 33, I said in the next 5 years, I want to be able to sing the national anthem for all of the New England professional sports teams, including NASCAR up at Loudon, New Hampshire, and I did it. And I had this collage, and there were just enough squares to put a picture of me singing in each of the stadiums, and the only one that remained empty were the Patriots. It's the hardest team to sing for. There's only 8 home games, let's be real. And I had done a lot of work for Bob Kraft's other team, the New England Revolutions, for all you soccer fans. And I ended up getting finally called to come and do a preseason Patriots game, but it was great. It was against Carolina, and Bob Kraft came down and met me and said hello, and I told him that story. I said I was finally able to fill my square. Pretty cool. Can I tell another cool story about
Of course you can.
a chief of Foxborough? So this is kind of strange. I also sang at a lot of funerals all throughout the Archdiocese of Boston on my lunch hour. And I had met the chief of police of Foxborough, Mr. Billy Baker. He is just, the guy is remarkable. And incredible family man. I met him at this funeral, and he said to me, so randomly, you truly made me want to cry today. You know, my wife lost a family member, and you just got inside me, and it felt so good to be able to cry today. When I finally got asked to sing the anthem at the Patriots game, it was the day or the week that he was retiring from Foxborough.
Wow.
From his position. So he was there.
Amazing. That is so cool.
Yeah, just weird. I reached out to him and I said, you're not going to believe this, but I met you, and I sang at your wife's aunt's funeral, and I'm here doing the anthem. He said, hold, I do remember you. I'm going to get Bob. And he pulled Bob down onto the field to say hello, and
Wow.
I'll never forget that. So my dad got to meet Bob Kraft, and it was really neat. And it was Brady's last year. That was the end of the dynasty.
The last days of Doo-Wop.
Yes.
You were like the kingpin up there on stage of this Richard Willis production.
That's right. That's right. We'll talk about Richie. So Richie's another local legend. The guy is just incredible. He and I became very dear friends over the last few years, and he has put together a bunch of original productions that include, some are timepieces, some have, script and characters, some are just musical medleys where there's actually like a live band on stage. I've done every Richie show since, 2016 maybe. And we just wrapped up the last days of Doo-Wop in April. It was supposed to be in January, but of course Omicron had spiked, and we were able to get the show in April. It was fantastic. And he has another one coming up in November at the Stoneham Theater featuring all of these incredible singers like Eric Brumley and Brenda Lau. I could go on and on. It's called Their Songs Live On, and it will be at the Stoneham Theater November the weekend of November 12th. Just I really want to focus. Clearly, my focus is spread across the board. Just trying to balance both, your practicality, which is my day job, and then also all of your musical adventures. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it's nice. Like I say, as an artist, people say, "What you're so happy all the time." I'm happy because I'm able to do both. Right? I don't just put all of my energy into music where I'm, having to worry about when the next paycheck is coming because there's no gig, or it's a really crappy feeling. I've been through that before where I just did music for a couple of years. It was sustainable, but it was very difficult. When you can have, some kind of a practical foundation, and, you have your benefits and you have your day job, and then everything else is just extra. I finally got it. I figured that out in my 30s. I wish I figured that out in my 20s, but
Like you said, you're a late bloomer.
I'm a late bloomer.
Is that right? You're handling it very
That's
well.
right. Stay tuned. There is more to come.
There's much more to come.
And now you got the title as wife thrown in there too.
And that's right. That's right. I got
So
it.
you're really juggling.
That's the easiest job.
Yeah. When it's right, it's right.
When it's right, it's right.
Well, I have to tell you, he's a very lucky man. I stopped over years ago to Vanessa's parents' house. We were just going over what she wanted to do with her website, and we were talking about that. And I was literally just stopping by to get some ideas of what we're looking at. I had a 5-course meal in a matter of, and it was a very short period of time, but boy, Mama fed me like no one's business.
Really, that's interesting. I've met Mr. and Mrs. Salvucci quite a few times. They've never invited me over.
It's coming.
All right. I'm going to hold them to it.
And let me tell you, she can cook.
She can cook. Oh, yeah.
Mama Salvucci. Vanessa, you had told me something quite a while ago about a goal of yours. You're looking at me like, what the hell is
Which
this?
one?
Which
whatever
goal?
are we speaking of?
So, yeah, but no, that's great. You have a lot of goals, and you're knocking them down one by one. One of them that you told me was wicked interesting, and I can't wait for it to happen to you, is you had told me that you want to be the official voice
That's
of
right.
a character.
Yes.
And I can see that. Like, yeah, I do remember that.
That's amazing.
Tell me, what kind of character? What's that?
I don't care if it's a cartoon fish. I still have not, you talk about all these things that I've been able to check off my list. I still have yet to sing for the Walt Disney Company. And I think it's coming. It's coming. And I don't care if it's an animated character that's a fish or a piece of grass. I do. I want to be a voice. You know what? I'm putting this out into the universe right now. Here we go.
Yes.
You have to
Yes.
put it out there.
Disney, I want to be the voice of an animated character.
How would you animate your voice?
Oh,
Let's hear it.
I
If
can
you
do
were
some-
going to do a character right now.
I don't know. No, you can't
No.
put me on the spot. I can.
Dude, her voice is character-like the way it is.
It is, but
It's
I
perfect.
want to see what she's going to bring to the table when she's a fish.
She's going to be better than a fish.
Maybe
She's
it
going
could
to
be
be
like
like the hyena or something like cool out
Because I
there.
laugh a lot. Well, Disney's. So the reason why I'd always get turned away is they'd say, "Geez, man, like where are you from?" I'd say, "Boston." Boston. You sound like Dolly Parton. You sound like you have this like timbre to your voice. I don't know. So maybe it would be like a southern pig on a farm or something. So after getting hit with thyroid cancer at 23, last summer last spring, I got hit with a little breast cancer. So that kind of shook me up again. And like anything else, we got through it. And if you want to get serious, I highly recommend women go for mammograms sooner than 40, which is the recommended age, because it's just it's very prevalent in a lot of places, and it affects everything. It affects your fertility. It affects everything. And I have to say, I think I worked extra last summer just to distract me from the millions of doctor's appointments, and I had a ton of musical gigs, so that's how I stay up. That's my medicine. That's my fuel. You have to stay out of your head. Do what you got to do, and just find joy.
There we
Find
go.
joy.
Great advice for everybody.
Yeah.
It is.
You
And
have to.
you're super inspirational, like the way that you handle all of this stuff. So there's a lot of baseball connotations during this thing, but like you were at home plate, end of the game, last pitch, and they threw you this unbelievable curveball with this second cancer diagnosis.
Yeah.
And you just grabbed that ball and you hit it out of the park, and you are just you took what was thrown at you and turned it into something good. You strong, inspirational for other people, talking about it openly.
Thank you.
It's really touching. Really touching.
You know, when you talked about going through the thyroid and you know the trail end of that and being told you might not sing, you actually kept going and you tried out for a couple of things, and I think one of them may have been a pretty big show that's been on TV for a long time.
Yeah.
Tell us about that experience.
Sure. So when I was, well, there's obviously a lot of rejection. There's a lot of rejection in life. When people say, oh, the music industry is filled with rejection. Yeah, well, so is life. So is dating. So is
Yeah.
job interviews, you know, even relationships failing. There's so much rejection. And it's part of life. So I'm going to say at 17, I didn't really understand rejection because I got lucky. I followed my brother to an audition for a TV show that was on, at the time, the WB. Remember the WB? And that was called Pop Stars. So I want to say they went to 7 cities. They potentially auditioned about 1,000 kids, guys and girls, in each city. And out of the 7,000, they chose 25 to fly out to Los Angeles for the final round. You know, you go through a workshop of singing and dancing, and ultimately they were to pick 3 guys, 3 girls to form this co-ed pop group. And they didn't have too much success. Like anything else, you'd take a risk. But my brother and I ended up in the top 25. Now, we don't look that much alike. He's a little older, and when you went into the room, you were a number, not a name. They didn't know we were related, but we did get to go and fly out to LA and be on this TV show. And so my brother ended up making it even further than I did. I think he made like the top 10. Again, another runner-up king, and you know, never the contract. But again, just what a cool experience just to get handpicked like that, because they saw something special, and you try to hold on to that. But then, you know, in time you get told a lot of things, that you're too much of something or you're not enough of something. Again, that's life. But if you want to do something, again, my dad had said to me, you know, what are you running around for and asking people if you're talented or not? Do you think you're talented? Go buy a microphone, go buy a speaker, and go book yourself a gig. And I did. And that was it. And I didn't need an agent. I am my agent. I do all the booking. If someone wants to call me to do something, you know, and take a piece of it because, you know, they're the booking agent, of course I'm going to, you know, accept that. But the idea is you're going to have fans, and you're going to have people that just don't care to listen to you, like every band in the world. So find your niche, find your audience.
Yeah.
That's my advice. There's no such thing as making it. What does that even mean?
You know,
what does that even mean?
It's funny you say that, because we've asked a number of the guests on the show, what is some of the advice you'd give? And
Sure.
so what you just gave is perfect.
I mean,
No prompting, and you know what you're going to have to offer to other people going through it.
and you know, even like being on Broadway in Nashville, I mean, you walk into any restaurant and bar, and you know, one person's just better than the next. So, and that's a free concert, you know. So, I think that's it. That's my advice. You find your niche. You find your audience. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Were you
Thank you to your dad for giving you that advice.
Yes.
I'll thank him.
It's
So one of the things we've talked about trying to put together is, you know, we went down to Nashville a couple of times. We've talked about this for a number of years. We finally got the podcast up and running, and we're having fun doing it. And part of that is also trying to build a fan base that might want to go out and see something like the Bluebird Cafe down in Nashville. Put some singers and songwriters in a room and let people hear the stories of the music that's behind it. And so that's where we're going. That's the longer projected road, but we're building up towards that. And part of that is having you here, because you will be in that room at one point.
That's
And
right.
so yeah, that's our goal.
I think it's amazing because Boston doesn't really have that. You know, what an iconic place like the Bluebird in Nashville to be inspired by, or to sort of mimic that, because everybody wants to be entertained. You know, there's nothing better for the soul than to go out to a comedy show. Now, there's another big group of people that we're all connected to, you know,
Absolutely.
our Boston comics, who we love them, or just live music, or being able to dance, you know. I mean, it's like in Boston, you just, if you're not in college. Like there's like nowhere to go to dance.
Right. Now, you mentioned that the comedy scene here in Boston is great. We're going to try and put together a listening room where people can do that. But you've shared the stage with some of the comics
I
in some of your
have.
productions. Who have you been up there with?
Oh my God, Steve Sweeney. He's just on another level. He is fantastic. I actually spoke with him this week. He needs me to do something for him, a national anthem for some event. But Lenny Clark, God, Steve Sweeney, Tony V.
Tony
So
V,
a lot
Johnny
of-
Peasy.
Johnny Peasy is my boyfriend.
He's a great guy. Great character.
Yeah, we've done a ton of shows together. Even Hank Morris is out of Medford, and he gets up there and does his thing. But I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. I don't think oh God, well, Paul D'Angelo.
Paul D'Angelo,
oh my
Dave
God.
Russo.
Yeah, Dave Russo.
The
Keep
list goes
going.
on. But who's performed in some of the productions with you up in Stoneham?
Yeah, so Johnny Peasy is a Stoneham Theater icon, as well as Tony V and Mike Katrubas. He was just in this this last production, and I had never met him before. We had a ball. Again, we have more fun off stage than we do on stage, because all we do is just pull pranks on each other throughout, the entire in between sets.
That's great. Well, those are some great personalities to be working with.
Yes, I agree.
Good for you. So tell me a little bit more about Vinyl Groove. Who's performing in Vinyl Groove with you?
Yeah, so
Over the years, you've been associated as well.
Exactly. So this has been sort of like a home base and a hodgepodge, and people come filtering in and out. But for the most part, it's been Stephen Virgilio and the girls from Family Affair, Lisa Rossetti and Michelle Progers.
Mhm.
Love them so much. And then we have Pedro Rivera and Garrison Bond, and sometimes Billy Pizzullo. But
Excellent.
Stephen Virgilio is the home base of Vinyl Group. That's his baby, and he gets that music. It's just a yearning for that music.
So let's
constantly.
remind everyone.
Yeah.
Again, you're going to be up
Absolutely.
at the Kowloon
Yep.
outside, opening for the Temptations.
Yeah. Friday, July 8th. Call now. Get your table. It's like a big oasis out there.
The Knucklehead Network is like to bring a lot to the stage, and sometimes it's not just the performers that you expect to see on the podcast. Sometimes it's going to be someone that you didn't expect. Today in studio, Vanessa Salvucci Sagisi has brought in Alfie, the singing dog.
Do I have to change my dog? Oh, I'm getting kisses first. Hold on. She knows it's coming. Oh, she's yawning. She's stretching. You want to sing a song for the podcast? Sing, Alfie. Sing. Sing, Alfie. Sing, Alfie. Louder.
So Vanessa, with the
Yeah.
4th of July coming up and honoring America, do you
Absolutely.
have anything that you could, maybe just give us a little snippet of?
A snippet. That's the.
I like it.
Yes, John. That's the key word.
Wonder where we got that word from.
Well, probably the Knucklehead Networker. Sure thing. Here we go. One of my faves. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on.
Amazing. Thank you, Vanessa, for that.
Anytime. My little prayer.
Again, Vanessa Salvucci. How do people find you and what you're doing?
Yeah, just follow me on, honestly, Facebook or Instagram. It's just Vanessa Salvucci, but recently married. I'm transitioning to Sagisi, but I'm really digging the V's Trail. I really like that, Mark.
Well, let's do it. Well, thanks again for coming in. And again, today's episode 10 was in honor of Police Chief David Scott. And if you go to his Instagram page, Team 14 Strong, you can help support his cause and help the American Cancer Society and the Jimmy Fund. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we had Vanessa Salvucci Sagisi. I almost forgot that.
Well, I want to give a big thank you to both of you, Mr. John Sarabian and Mark Lawhorn, for having me on. You guys have been in my life for nearly, about 11 years, maybe? 10, 11 years?
We've been very fortunate to have your friendship over the years, so
Absolutely.
thank you.